Hi everyone. Honestly, it took me a week to recover from reading this article and doing the research around porn. And I believe this is a very important topic to talk about, and how our kids are coming across porn at younger and younger and younger age as we advance into our digital lives. So I think this is very important that we talk about it. So this is an article written by a 16-year-old for an essay contest, and it's no surprise that this is one of the winners because the kind of information that Isabel Hogben reveals here is just mind blowing and just truly sad. In spite of our best efforts as parents, our children are finding things uh, that are not necessarily in their best interest. So let's see what it is all about. I have highlighted a few points from here. Of course, the discussion does not end when the essay ends, because it is time for us to think about what this actually means for their young minds and how we can intervene and help if any child is addicted to adult content. So what she says is, I had a helicopter mom. I found Pornhub anyway. So that is the title. And let me show you a few things that I have highlighted here. I was 10 years old when I watched porn for the first time. This itself is very, very heartbreaking for any mother to read, because we see all kinds of unnatural acts that are performed in the name of porn, and imagine a child coming across what is the modern content that is being circulated with porn. It's just sad. So there was my mother in the next room making sure I was eating 9 differently colored vegetables and fruits on the daily. She was attentive, nearly a helicopter parent, but I found online porn anyway. And so did my friends. This is the clincher here. If parents are going to blame themselves for what is happening, what this child does is for us to understand that there are bigger elements in play than just the relationship that you share with your child. There are things that are completely out of our control as parents. And as you read along, you will find that out. Today I'm 16 and my peers are suffering from an addiction to what many call the new drug. So what she does is a phenomenal job of explaining that porn has become the new substance for children to abuse. So I'll take you to this link where they're pointing out to fightthenewdrug.org, and this seems to be a non-religious, non-profit organization. I don't know the details about it except for what I see here as stats on their front page. So most kids today are exposed to porn by age 13. 73% of teens have seen it by the age of 13. The stats are it's just mind-blowing. At least 1 in 3 porn videos show sexual violence or aggression. And this topic comes about in her essay. I will show you what she talks about. When children see that this kind of behavior is normalized, they think that abuse is part of how they will be receiving love in their life, in their love life later on. So that is one very, very important thing to note. 53% of boys and 39% of girls believe that pornography is a realistic depiction of sex. Imagine this kind of content being consumed by children who have never experienced what is sex, and they are assuming that this is how it should look like. I'll put the link to all these in my video here, and you can check it out. So what she talks about is, imagine back in the day, if you were to think of what adult content would look like. You would get a picture of a hot bombshell in lingerie or a half-naked model on a beach. Think of those days of Baywatch, just they all really look very simplistic and harmless. Now, if you consider what is being bombarded into the faces of children these days. So what she says is, I saw simulated incest. Okay, so sex within the members of the family, especially between the between generations, bestiality, sex with animals, extreme bondage, sex with unconscious women, gangbangs, multiple people having sex, sadomasochism, which is pain, inflicting pain on yourself or others while having sex, and unthinkable violence. So, and they talk about even having erections that are artificial, along with boobs and butts, and the whole drama about the pleasure, being it's so erotic and everything, right? So here, Tice Boone, a former LA porn actor, says he used to take a vial of Viagra to work every day. It's a miracle he even survived. I don't know how he is now, but... So what she says is, the pre-adolescent and the adolescent brain does not know that all this is fake. And that goes back into this article where they say that this pornographic depiction is being thought of as being realistic. That is the biggest problem. So there is an experiment by a Dutch biologist, Nicholas Tinbergen, and what he calls is supernormal stimulus. So what it is he creates these fake female butterflies which are very, very bright in color and vibrant, and the male butterflies actually use these supernormal decoys. They prefer them over the natural females flapping right in front of them. So this is exactly what is going to happen to us. Artificial stimuli can saturate and warp a young mind before it can even encounter a real life sexual experience. And there is more information about how porn is the new drug here. A recent Cambridge University study shows that the porn's effects on the brain are neurochemically identical to drug addiction. It's as much a dangerous substance as illicit drugs. So there's a little bit of information there if you would like to read about, because here I write about this in this article. This is a documentary I watched recently last week, and I wrote about it, Hiding in Plain Sight. It's a youth mental illness documentary, and they talk about porn here. So I saw this bus on the way to the screening. It's just amazing, the kind of help that is out there. Only for children and our teens knew about it. So here they talk about addictions and self-medications. So what research shows is porn, exercise, and drugs, alcohol, all these self-medication. So when people are having severe anxiety or depression, what they do is they actually get addicted to one of these to just placate themselves and to feel better in the moment. So porn is one such thing, which is actually the new substance that is being abused. So here, and how it is being normalized in the world. This is a fascinating statement by this young child who wrote this, brave essay. So if you see this statement from her, it just shows how we have normalized all these things in the world these days. If a child ordered 3 shots of vodka at a bar, the bartender would object. If a child asked for cigarettes at a gas station, the attendant would laugh. But a quick Google search, imagine a child having access to millions of hours of a dangerous substance. And there is something about how porn is so physically violent that is being depicted. Gagging, slapping, choking, spitting. So what happens when children consume this kind of content? If you see, the Indiana University study shows the earlier a girl is exposed to porn like this, the more she will accept behaviors like choking, facial ejaculation, and aggressive fellatio from a sexual partner. So this is aggressive oral sex from a sexual partner. What is also happening as a result of all this is women are now looking at their bodies as a commodity to make money off of. Kim Kardashian, just absolutely worth nothing if her brain is concerned, but she makes money off of her own body, and so that is why you see all these girls are now flocking to OnlyFans, creating their OnlyFans accounts to sell naked photos of themselves. If you are just considering yourself to be your body, your beauty, will you be aging well with that idea? Both physically and metaphorically? It's a question that young girls have to ask themselves. This article is just so sad in so many different ways. It's something for us to think about. And, no matter what we do as parents, what she says is we know how to get around web blockers and site filtrations. Okay, so it is up to us. So I talk about this, we have so many books that are writing about, porn addiction in teens by Ben Halpert. What happens is traumatic emotional responses, increased sexual compulsions. There are all these, nearly 1 in 12 13-year-olds are afraid that they're addicted to porn. That is a very, very scary statistic. And look at this. Around 15% of teens are sending sex. Nearly 27% of teens are receiving them. This is 2018 stats. For me personally, what I had to do, I had to have this very difficult kind of conversation where I had to tell my boys that not everything that they see on the internet is real. The fake pleasure, the fake bodies, the fake everything. It is a difficult conversation to have at any age with your child, but it is something that you will have to have, because what other choice do we have? So I request you to please talk to your children about this, talk about the reality of the real world and the fakeness of these online personas that these women and men create in the name of porn. So thank you.